Hey friends, in this video I'll be discussing about moon. Last video was about Saturn. In this video, which is a continuation of the planetary series, I'll be talking about moon. The moon, according to me, is the most important planet in your birth chart, which I've already done a separate video where I've explained why moon is the most important planet in your birth chart. The moon represents your mind. Moon represents the emotions. Moon represents how your state of mind is, what kind of peace of mind do you have. Moon represents, moon represents your mother. So moon is a very emotional planet which talks about your emotions, and hence it becomes a very important planet because when your mind is stable, even if you're going through a bad phase, you can face that phase. But if your moon is unstable and you go through a difficult phase, because everybody will go through good and bad phase, but if your moon is unstable and you go through a difficult phase, you are in real trouble because your moon is not ready or your mind is not ready to face that challenge. Hence, a good moon is like half the battle won. Now, let's come to houses and let's talk about places where moon does really well. According to me, the best place or the best house for moon is the fourth house, because fourth house represents peace of mind, fourth house represents your mother. Hence, moon, the significator of this particular or these two things, does really well in the fourth house. Also, when you look into a Kalapurush chart, the fourth house uh, sign is Cancer, and that's the sign which is moon sign. So moon really does well in the fourth house. The seventh house is a house where most of the planets don't do really well, but moon in seventh house does really well. A seventh house moon can bring emotions and love to married life, can give you a wife who's beautiful, who's attractive, who's a sensible wife. So seventh house moon is a pretty strong moon and is a very good position for moon to be. Moon also does well in the fifth house. Fifth house is about children. So children's need to be nurtured. Children's need to be uh, brought up in a good environment, and that's what moon can do. A stable moon can do. So moon is pretty comfortable when it comes to fifth house. Moon does well in first and 10th house as well. So in the first house, you know, sun does really well. Moon doesn't do as well as sun, but still moon is pretty good in the first house, because moon then brings a sensible person, a person who's able to adjust, is a person who's able to compromise, is a person who's tactful, a person who can who can play around. So a moon in first house does pretty well. Similarly, a moon in 10th house is a person who thinks about, when he thinks about his colleagues. So 10th house is your profession, 10th house is about your work environment. And and moon in 10th house is a person who's not very dominating. So is a person who does well with his colleagues, who does well with his subordinates, who does well with the bosses, and so on. So moon does well in 10th house as well. Moon does well in the 11th house as well. 11th house is a house where most of the planets do well. And moon also does well in 11th house. You make a lot of friends. You do get a lot of gains. If it is a ruler of a good house, then you do gain a lot. And you make friends, you make good relationship, and so on. So moon does well in fifth house, seventh house, first house, 10th house, 11th house, and of course the fourth house. So these are the places where moon does really well. Moon as a planet is quite comfortable in most houses. Like signs, it is also comfortable in most houses. Now, two places where moon becomes vulnerable is sixth house and eighth house. Now, in sixth house, when it comes to sixth house, you need a, a, a planet which can really fight with your enemies, which can really fight with your disease. But moon is not a fighter. Moon is an emotional planet, so it struggles in sixth house, because sixth house needs a planet which can really be ferocious and moon is not that kind of a planet. Hence moon kind of struggles in the sixth house. Similarly, in the eighth house is considered to be the most difficult position for moon to be in, because eighth house in the Kala Purusha chart is ruled by or the sign that is of the eighth house is Scorpio, where moon is debilitated. Hence moon doesn't do well in, doesn't do well in the eighth house. Now where moon does, its struggles is particularly sixth and eighth house. These are the two places where moon struggles. In most of the other houses, moon does either okay or good. Same thing with sign. Moon is really a comfortable planet, so it usually is comfortable in most of the signs. It does well in Taurus, it does well in Libra, it does well in Cancer. Taurus because it's exalted. It does well in Libra as well. Cancer is its own sign. It's a ruler of Cancer. So these are the three signs where it does really well. It also does well in a sign like Leo, or for that matter Sagittarius, or for that matter a Pisces. It does pretty well in these signs as well. So moon in other signs also it does well, except for two signs. And these are the two signs where moon is a little jittery. One is Scorpio, the other one is Capricorn. So these are two places where moon doesn't do well. Scorpio because moon is debilitated in this sign, and Capricorn because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and moon isn't a doesn't go well with Saturn, and Saturn kind of deprives moon's uh, energy, and hence moon doesn't do well in Capricorn, and to some extent in Aquarius as well. But generally speaking, when you see moon's placement from sign, or from, for that matter, houses, moon isn't really very uncomfortable uh, in any place. It, yeah, it do struggle in sixth house and eighth house, and it isn't very comfortable in Scorpio and Capricorn. But in most cases, even if it is in this sign, it kind tends to do okay. So moon struggles when it is afflicted, and not because it is in a bad sign or a bad house. When you're seeing your moon in your chart, see how well it is aspected or conjunct. That is more important than where it is placed. First thing which is important is how and with which planets is it conjunct, or which planet are aspecting moon. If moon is aspected by a Jupiter or a Venus, or for that matter a sun, moon tends to do well in most situations. Even if it is in Scorpio and aspected by a planet like a Jupiter, or for that matter a planet like a Venus, or for that matter a planet like Sun, it tends to do pretty okay. But if moon is present in Taurus, or even if it is present in a Cancer or Libra, it struggles if it is aspected by, say, for example, a Rahu or Ketu, or conjunct by a Rahu or Ketu, or conjunct by a Sun, or a Saturn for that matter. If these are the planets which are with Moon, even in its exalted sign, it tends to be difficult in your chart, right? So Moon doesn't really do well if it is conjunct with difficult planets, or planet with whom it doesn't do well. For Sun, it's a peculiar case, because Sun aspecting Moon is very good. Sun conjunct with Moon is difficult, because the Moon get combust, and emotional planet getting conjunct with a fiery planet, uh, you know uh, kind of make the Moon very disturbed, or the mind very disturbed. So aspect of Sun to Moon is considered to be good, but a conjunct of Sun and Moon is not good. Now, whether Moon is, and you must be aware of this, that Moon, if it is a Moon which is ahead of Sun, or if it is a waxing Moon, it's considered to be a good Moon. If it is behind the Sun or a waning Moon, then it is considered to be a difficult Moon. So if Moon is 180 degree from Sun, or ahead of the Sun, it is considered to be a benefit Moon. If it is 180 degrees behind Sun, so from 180 to 360 degree of the Sun, if it is placed there, then it is considered to be a malefic Moon, right? So this is what moon is. When you see moon, as I repeat and I repeat again, when you're seeing moon in your chart, do see how moon is placed, as in what kind of aspect it is getting, or what kind of conjunction is happening with the moon. Secondly, see if moon is a functional benefit for you or a functional malefic for you. If it's a functional benefit moon, that's definitely good. Also see if it is a waxing moon, as it is it ahead of the sun or is it behind the sun. If it is ahead of the sun, it's a benefic moon. If it is behind the sun, then it's a malefic moon. And then you look into where moon is placed and in what sign it occupies. Right? So this is how you need to judge the moon in your chart. Thank you for watching my video. Do subscribe to my channel. Do like my video if you really enjoyed this video. Thank you. Tata. Bye bye.